I just realized in my notebook, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Hey guys, and welcome back to Jesus Talks with Jess. Today I want to talk about trust. So last week I was listening to a song and it said, "When I trust you, I don't need to understand." And when I heard those lyrics, I had to ask myself, am I really trusting God? Because I think so many times we can say, I trust God, but then in the back of our minds, we're trying to come up with a million ways of how God is going to make a way, right? And that's when doubt comes in. Because we'll say we trust in God, but really, we have a backup plan in case God doesn't come through. But God has to be our plan A, our plan B, our plan C, and our plan D. Because our human minds can't comprehend the how, all we need to know is the who, which is Jesus. God says in His Word, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Be still and know that He is God. When we rely on our own understanding, we can't trust God. They don't fit together. Our own understanding and trusting in God don't go together. For example, when Peter saw Jesus walking on water and he called out to him, he began to walk on water towards Jesus because his eyes were on Jesus. His eyes were focused on the who. But the minute he took his eyes off of the who and onto the how the heck am I walking on water right now? He began to sink. Because his own human understanding told him that it's impossible to walk on water. So when he relied on his own understanding, that's why he began to sink, because he stopped looking at Jesus and he stopped focusing on God. That's why God says we must rely on Him and trust in His understanding and not on our own understanding. You have two options. You can either rely on your own understanding or trust God and forget about your own understanding. Because they don't go together. You can't trust God 80% and trust yourself 20%. You have to trust God 100%. That's why He says, don't rely on your own understanding, because sometimes God's ways are going to seem so far out for our own mind to comprehend, and when we begin to think about how God is going to make a way, we can doubt. In 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14, it says, "But the natural mind does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him." That's why God says walk by the Spirit and not by the flesh, because when we begin to rely on the flesh, our natural mind says that the things of God are foolish. But that's why we don't rely on our own understanding and we rely on God and His understanding, and rather than focusing on the how, we focus on the who. And that is how we will have victory in life. That is how we will accomplish all that God has for us. That's how we will be able to go out and do the dreams that we have in our hearts, because we're trusting in God. It doesn't matter how big or how great you think your dreams are. If you trust in Him and you don't rely on yourself, but you rely on Him, you'll be able to accomplish it all. To close this off, I'm going to answer a question. Why are we able to trust in the who? And the answer is because He loves us. Jesus loves us so much that we can forget our own plans and our own doubts and our own ideas, and we can just rely on Him and trust in Him completely, and He will not fail us. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more. Don't forget to have a great week, and God bless.